Hey everybody, I'll be explaining how power levels work in the game, and how they affect the base damage you do. I think this is something important to learn if you're looking to score high in score attack, or if you just want to clear your levels quickly and efficiently for non-score attack events. So before we get into it, full disclaimer, there's math involved. Yeah, that's it. So here's the base damage formula used in the game, courtesy of Banana Priam. Now, if this equation looks difficult, then it really isn't. So let's just go through it part by part, and I'll explain each variable that affects your overall base damage. So the first term, 1.m, which I'd probably rewrite as 1 plus m. So m refers to mansion damage boost. So you can check your mansion damage boost in the battle preview screen where you select your in-game boosts. So the big number refers to your team number, which we'll cover a bit later, and beside it is your mansion damage boost, shown as plus whatever percentage. The maximum you can get is plus 20%, and you get 1% for each 5 mansion levels, so it caps out at about level 101. So back to the equation, if we sub in your mansion boost in, for my example, I have 20%, so we'll have 1.2 multiplied by team power and cheer power. So yeah, if you've been slacking off on buying furniture, you should probably work on it, because the EXP that furniture gives when you buy it actually does impact your base damage. Alright, so the next term to break down is team power. So team power is basically the average power of the 2 units you pick for your team. So let's say I pick GER and Risotto. Both of them have 1738, so the average power would be 1738. Now let's say I swap out Risotto for Narancia, who has 1703, so the team power shown on the screen is 1720, even though, you know, the exact value itself is 1720.5, meaning that the number actually rounds down and doesn't round up. So how do you increase your team power? It's pretty simple, you just level your units. The higher your units' levels, the higher their power. BRs have the least power in average, followed by SRs and then GRs. Do note that having a high power level is not exactly a substitute for having a team with good synergy. So if I were to actually run like GR and Risotto seriously, it would not be an optimal team whatsoever, despite having a pretty high power level. Now the last term in the equation is 0.2 multiplied by average cheer power. So your cheer power is shown before your game starts after you load in. You'll see 4 cheers with their corresponding power levels, so you'll add up all of these powers and then divide by 4 to get your average. Then you just multiply it by 0.2. And the painfully obvious way to up your cheer power is to literally level all the units you have, since cheers are picked based on whether they have a different color than your main team, and then selected randomly within those color pools. So this is why you'll see a lot of people recommend leveling your entire box, since it does have a direct impact on your damage done. If you don't want to spend too much time or resources, I'd say leveling to a minimum of 35 is usually a safe bet, since power gain itself is linear for every level, which means the power gain between each level is the same, but EXP requirements per level are exponential, meaning that the EXP needed to level up increases higher and higher for every level, which I've covered through in my previous video explaining how EXP works. Alright, so with all the math out of the way, let's go through a little demonstration. So the main team I'm using is GER and Narancia, so my team power is 1720, and my mansion damage boost is 20%. And we previously calculated the average cheer power, which comes out at 307. So we plug all these values into a calculator and we'll get 2432. So 2432 is the damage we expect to deal doing a 4-panel match at 1 combo. So let's see the damage dealt in the first match. And yep, that's 2432. Now do remember that this is base damage, so I think this verifies that the equation for base damage is correct. So yeah, that covers it for base damage. I understand I've missed out on how damage boost in battle preview affects your base damage, but I guess I got lazy and didn't run any tests. So there's two possible outcomes. It either multiplies by 1.1 to your final base damage after all the numbers are plugged in, or it multiplies the team power by 1.1, and you just sub in that number into your equation. For me, see ya.